Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome back to the studio. You've just seen a video on the various Tabligh activities nationwide here in America that includes flyer distribution and various other activities. Interestingly, we have Waseem Sayyid Sahib, National Secretary Sahib Tabligh for USA-Jama'at here in person in the studio. Waseem Sahib, welcome to the studio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me here.
Jazakallah for joining us and taking time out. I know your schedule must be very busy right now. I wanted to ask, you've had the opportunity and the blessing of serving Jama'at as in the role of National Secretary Tabligh. What are some of the challenges you've seen in curating some initiatives for the Tabligh department, and how have you overcome those challenges?
The biggest challenge in any office of the Jama'at where we are blessed to serve and really be given this honor and this amazing opportunity of being the helper of the Imam of the age in accomplishing his mission, which is really to convey the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat to everybody. This was the era in which the Takmeel-e-Ishaat was to take place, in which the dissemination of the message of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was to be taken to every nook and corner, to every soul on the planet of the earth. It was prophesied in the Holy Quran that it would happen in the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we have this as office holders, especially as Tabligh secretaries, we have this immense honor. And the difficulty, the greatest challenge that we have is approaching our own members with love and affection and genuine regard for their welfare. And realizing that if we befriend them, if we make a place for ourselves in their heart by showing true compassion and true regard for them, if we do this, then we can actually win them over to do this service, yes, in which lies the immense benefit, not just of humanity, of others, but of themselves. And me as a father, as a grandfather, if I can properly do this job, the first thing I have to accomplish is win the hearts of the members of my Jama'at by having genuine compassion, genuine regard, genuine love, genuine concern. And this is what Hazrat Khalifatul Masih tells all of us office holders, that look, you are not given this office, given this honor, bestowed this blessing to sit in the chair and do some hukumat, do some governance. No, you are there to serve. And I think this is the biggest challenge that we have. This is something I spend most of my time when I talk to my secretaries, myself actually, when I remind myself, when I look at myself in the mirror, that Waseem, you have to actually win the heart of the people who are placed under your care.
MashaAllah. You've also, you were speaking about winning the hearts of our own members. Speaking of that specifically, there has been a greater push of having Jama'at members sign up as Da'in. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yes, so the two big goals that Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, we talk about the blessing of Khilafat. Our life depends on Khilafat. Our success, our achieving anything. It is the life source of our anything is Khilafat. And our beloved Imam, always alive to the needs of the hour, guided by God, has told us in the US Jama'at that, look, you have a huge country, you have a huge population. The only way you will be able to do the job that you have been blessed with is if every one of you becomes a Da'i Allah. And specifically, Hazur gave us the target in various meetings with our members, our team members, our Khudam or Ansar, or they go and meet Hazab, and Hazur talks about Tabligh all the time. Yes. And he said to them, you should have at least 4,000 Da'in. That's one thing he said. And the second thing he told them, us essentially, was that you got to reach 25% of the US population, which is like 87 million people. So what we have been doing is really trying to provide the Da'in with a tool now where on their cell phone, on their computer, on their laptop, by going to tabligh.us/tabligh, they can file a report. By going to tabligh.us/Da'in, they can register to become a Da'i Allah. By going to tabligh.us/guests, they can record the information of the people that are under Tabligh. And this platform that we've developed really is proving to be very useful. So every month we try to increase the number of da'in. Right now they're at around about 1,300 on the men's side and about 500 on the ladies' side. So we got about 1,800 da'in altogether. We want to double that. So every month we ask them to, all the secretaries, that look, get to know your members, become regardful of their concerns, and as you do this, eventually you will see that they will be attracted to you and you will be able to win them over and make them da'in. So we need to get to 4,000. And we need to get to 90 million people. At the moment, in the first 4 months of this year, almost every month we've been reaching 2.5 million people, with the various things that you just saw.
Very nice.
Street corner tabligh, letters to the editor. We are also, by the way, we have very little budget.
Yeah.
So we are looking for mechanisms like letters to the editor, which we can do for free. We can just simply email a letter to a print media or digital media, and we provide all the Jama'ats every week with a new letter, a draft letter, a sort of an idea, which is about a current topic. And we encourage them to write that letter to their local newspapers.
So Waseem Sahab, one concern I have heard myself that I try to address, and here's an opportunity for all of our viewers, especially here in USA and perhaps around the world, that becoming a da'i ilallah seems like an extra step where I have to commit extra things, or where they feel like it's a little bit of a burden. Can you help and ease people's stress in that that becoming a da'i ilallah is a responsibility that is it a responsibility? Let me place a question to you.
It is a responsibility. It's our, again, I will come back to the statement that I said before earlier. In fact, it's a responsibility. If we discharge, we win the most easiest way, the help of Allah for all our concerns and regards and worries and preoccupations, especially the things that are beyond our power. I mean, I meet people, they always talk about how their children and their education and their tarbiyat is beyond their control, or they have financial worries, or they're worried also about their job or something. And I always remind them of some of the poetic kalam, poetic words of the Prophet ﷺ in the beginning of Aina Kamalat-e Islam. In the very beginning of Aina Kamalat-e Islam, he has this beautiful poem in Persian in which he says, look, this is the time to help the this religion of Islam, which is in such a weak situation. And then he says that if you do it, Allah will reward you. And not, he says, only spiritually, but he says also he will reward you by helping you achieve all the things that you worry about, all the things that you need Allah's help for.
So it's a matter of ghairat and honor of Islam that we need to stand up.
Ghairat and honor, and of course, also the solution to our problems, I think.
Yes.
If we become the assistants of the Imam of the age, Allah will help us solve our problems, especially those ones that we just have no power to do anything with. So it's not just a responsibility. I think it's a way to win the help of Allah that we so desperately need.
So to clear the misconception and clear the air, it is not just a responsibility of the Tabligh secretary or the outreach secretary or the murabbi or the sadr. It is the responsibility of each and every Ahmadi.
It really is. And I think the way we need to look at it, it's an opportunity for each and every Ahmadi to get his problems solved. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih has said, the easiest way to absorb the grace of God that is always descending on earth in this day and age is to become the assistant of the Imam of the age in conveying the message of Islam Ahmadiyyah to everybody. This is the fastest way to become capable of absorbing the grace of God.
Very nice. Now, there has, through the missionaries and through other departments within the Jama'at, there have been an uptake in the da'in workshops and Tabligh classes that have been, that various Jama'ats are doing. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yes, so Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful to all the missionaries in the US Jama'at. They have been working diligently to hold at least one da'i ilallah class every month in each Jama'at that's under their care. This is a way of addressing the concerns. When people start to think about becoming a da'i ilallah, they're worried, Do we know enough? You know, they have all kinds of questions. Where do we get? And sometimes, and amazingly, many people get stuck on small things. Like, how do we do flyer distribution, you know? Where can I get a banner? How can I do street corner tabligh? I need a placard. The very simple things. Yeah. So in these classes, the missionaries and also the regional and local tabligh secretaries, they answer the questions of the da'in. And alhamdulillah, this has actually, as I said, in the first month of July, which was the year of the Jama'at, begins July 1, we had some 1,200 da'in, registered. Then in the next 2 months, we had another 100 and then another 100. So now we are, as I said, at something like 1,800 altogether for da'in. And the missionaries are working. They are also not just providing classes, but they are there really to motivate the da'in. That look, if you do this, here are the benefits. And I think it's a great service.
So really, some of the hesitation that I've heard from Jama'at members is, I don't have enough knowledge, or I don't know how to spark a conversation. And through this da'in initiative and these da'in workshop, a platform has been provided under the guidance of National Tabligh Department and with the help and collaboration with missionaries. Now, speaking of collaboration, the Jama'at is a big tent that has various auxiliaries in it as well. How has the Tabligh Department been collaborating with various auxiliaries to further Tabligh activities?
So the Qaid Tabligh and the Mu'tamin Tabligh of Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, they are actually working very closely with us. Recently, Qaid Tabligh Sahab from Ansarullah asked that their majalis wanted these beautiful Tabligh cards that we have. I think they will have seen them in the show that we had just now. And so we provided, at quite a lot of expense, all the majalis that asked for it, the Tabligh cards. And then similarly, the Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, they are really very, very active in doing Tabligh through social media. So they have a very large group. And in fact, Farhan Rabbani Saab, who is the head of Tabligh in the Khudam al-Ahmadiyya, has been doing some very, very excellent work in challenging those people who are talking against Ahmadiyyat or who have concerns about the truth of Ahmadiyyat. He has been working with his teams to address those in videos, to produce these programs. They have a Ask Islam program that's going on. Khudam al-Ahmadiyya is doing that. And today I was talking to Qaid Tabligh Sahab of Ansarullah, and he was asking me whether he can receive the weekly letter to the editor that we send to him also, so that he can send it to all the majalis. And again, letter to the editor is a cheap, free way of us reaching hundreds of thousands. Yes. One of the things that's happened actually since the beginning of this year is that the Jama'ats are beginning to realize that it's not just 1 or 2 people that they can reach, that they can reach tens of thousands of people every week, even hundreds of thousands, by using the strategies. If you stand at the corner of a street holding Messiah Has Come for 3 hours on a Saturday morning at a busy corner, safely, making sure that you do it properly, you can reach tens of thousands of people. And if you do it in 5 or 6 street corners, 2 people at a time, you can multiply that 10,000 by 5 or 6. And then if you have 60 Jama'ats, suddenly you begin to realize that what Hazrat Sahib is asking us, what our beloved Khalifa is asking us to reach 90, 100 million people is actually doable. 60 Jama'ats, 10,000 a week, you do the math, you suddenly begin to realize. And so people are becoming conscious that actually they can reach hundreds of thousands of people every week.
Absolutely. It's more about belief first.
It is.
Battles are won in the mind first. And if we become self-defeatist before we even get out onto the battle of winning the hearts, then we will, if we win the battle first and believe, just like you are mentioning, then we can win that battle by the grace of Allah. We have just a few more seconds left, Waseem Saab. If you could share one incident very briefly that is an inspiring incident from all of your efforts of Tabligh that you could share with our audience.
Well, it's not so much about my efforts. It really is the efforts of the Jama'at members. They are amazing. Once, a long time ago, the Khudam in Milwaukee or someplace, they decided that they would, go to this big fair that was happening. And they went. And when they came back, some of the Khudam came back as if, they had suddenly, they had hair on their chest, so to speak. They were so happy. A lot of times people have hesitation. They're worried. What will happen? What will be the response of the people? Yeah. We went in Baltimore. I also was blessed to be able to do this with some young people, knocked door by door, in Baltimore, and we were telling them about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, because at the time there was a housing complex being made. And you will not believe that almost everybody who we knocked on the door and gave the flyer to came and said to us, this is such great work that you're doing. I've heard from many Jama'ats, they go and at Christmas, they give a little token, chocolate or something. And the people are so happy.
Jazakallah, Waseem Saab. Those are some very inspiring stories, and I'm sure many of you have experienced various inspiring incidents while doing Tabligh. And doing Tabligh is, as Waseem Sahib mentioned, as Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Asr Aziz has mentioned, is a responsibility of each and every one of us.